What do therapists Neil deGrasse Tyson and web developers all have in common? You can pay a lot of money to sit in a dark room and have them yell at you about things you don't understand. And like self-care and space stuff, web development is also super important to our work as marketers. That's why we all nod enthusiastically when Todd from IT tells us he's modulating the traffic flux capacitor's backend portal code today, so our email might go down for 5 minutes. Because looking like you understand is half the battle. Knowing how websites are built and delivered to audiences is part and parcel of being a successful digital marketer. That's why today on Marketing is Broken, we're getting techie with it. Join me and Zach Coulter, Director of Digital Strategy at Next Precision Marketing, to talk about the new ways websites are getting built and what that means for marketers. Welcome back to Marketing is Broken, your source for witty wordplay and concisely clarified concepts. Today, we'll be talking about JAMstack. While it sounds like a plate full of fancy sandwiches, it's actually much less delicious. Let's cut to the crust. Most modern sites and apps are built using things like WordPress and other content management systems. These sites serve web content using the longtime standards of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But more recently, developers are favoring a new stack of web tools called JAMstack, where JAM stands for JavaScript, APIs, and markup. Now, I know what you're wondering. Why does this matter to me? Let the code monkeys do what they do, and I'll just continue creating campaigns so good, customers will flock to my site like sheep to the slaughter, or something less evil. Here to explain why you should be paying attention is Zach Coulter, Director of Digital Strategy at Next Precision Marketing. Zach and his team are on the front lines of this back-end shift, so open up a fresh Google Doc because this jam session is about to go down. All right, so HTML, CSS, and JavaScript have been kind of the mainstays of a website's tech stack for a long time, but why is it important to know about either the old way, that way, or this new way, JAMstack, for marketers?
Sure. Well, the JAMstack was foreign to me until somewhat recently as well. The way that I kind of discovered it and started pursuing a greater understanding of it came out of SEO and content strategy. I was concerned with performance, website speed, and researching ways to really optimize against performance that led me to the JAMstack. So the reason why marketers should know and be concerned is that there are some new ways of doing things in web development that allow for really superior performance, improved security, and I think some UX. I think it opens some doors from a UX perspective as well.
So you mentioned some of these different benefits. How does JAMstack deliver those versus the more traditional technology?
Sure. So in a JAMstack site, when a user goes to enter a URL or clicks on a link, instead of initiating a request to a server, what they're actually fetching is a page that's already been built. It's already been rendered, and it lives on a content delivery network, sort of at the edge of the entire network. So we can get pre-built pages closer to the user. And so when they make the request to a URL, they're getting a response very quickly, as opposed to in a traditional context, making calls back and forth to a server to build and render a page at the time that the user enters the URL. So it's all built and ready to go, so the user has a really fast experience.
And that's really important these days for mobile, for the short attention spans that people have. And so speed and you said usability are two of the main benefits with this new technology. And it makes sense too, the less you have to build in order to give that page to somebody, the more quickly it's going to load and the more easily they're going to be able to digest the content, right?
You bet. And another thing to note is from a security perspective, because there aren't calls going back and forth to a server, there are fewer opportunities for malicious actors to inject code that you don't want there. So there's just less surface area for hackers to attack. And so if you have a client that, let's say, mostly it's a brochure website and they aren't making lots and lots of updates or really being very active on their site, and for the most part they would prefer to kind of set it and forget it, this is a great approach that you can be confident will be secure over the long run.
That's a great option. So speed, usability, and security, three main
Right.
benefits of this new JAMstack approach. So how can marketers learn just the right amount of JAMstack to be dangerous? I mean, helpful.
Sure. Well, there's a robust conversation going on around the JAMstack on Twitter. So I would encourage anyone who's curious to head over to Twitter and run some searches, find people to follow, find companies to follow, and plug into the conversation that way. In addition to that, I would say there are some JAMstack podcasts that are worth checking out. And finally, talk to your developers. Ask them. Right now, this conversation is primarily happening between and among developers, and they're excited about it. And so I think the more that marketers can be going to their development teams and asking and looking for these types of opportunities, that would be a great way to move forward with the JAMstack.
That's awesome information for our audience. Zach Coulter, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks, Josh.
All right, now that we've jammed your head full of sweet, sticky knowledge, it's time to wrap up this mouth-watering morsel of marketing mastery. Find more on JAMstack at jamstack.org and keep up with us at brandishinsights.com. Hey, it's Josh from Brandish Insights. Thank you for watching Marketing is Broken. If you like this week's episode, please click below to subscribe or check out other episodes. And if your company could use more insights around your branding efforts, check out brandishinsights.com.